Hey guys, and welcome back to Her Revision, the podcast for women who are rewriting the stories that they tell themselves and that the world tells them. And today we are talking about intentionality. I don't think I've ever really talked about intentionality on the podcast. And honestly, that's been heavy on my heart only because I just feel like I'm ready to start being more purposeful about my life and what I have going on, and I say that in every way: my podcast, my relationships, my walk with God. I want to be intentional about it all now. And I want to get out of that autopilot mode where we all kind of fall into it sometimes. And we just move through our days without even thinking. We literally just do, because when I look at where I've been and where I want to go, I know that if I put real intention behind my choices, everything could change for me. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. So when I talk about being intentional, right, I mean actually considering my why behind every action that I want to make, not just letting things happen, but asking myself, like, what's the purpose here? What are we doing? Why am I doing that? Because I feel like there's a big difference between moving with purpose and just moving and just doing. And I've noticed that in my own life, sometimes I do just move. I'm not fully in control. Sometimes I'm just kind of waking up, doing my day-to-day and just letting things play out. And don't get me wrong, sometimes life just happens. But there is a certain power to me in terms of choosing to show up differently and more intentionally. So one of the examples that I want to talk about is my journey with Hinge right now. For me, this isn't about finding someone just to go on dates with. It used to be. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to just date. I wanted to just have fun. I just wanted to meet and mingle and, get to know guys and just expand my dating horizons, because I had it in my mind that, you don't know what's out there. You don't know what you like until you date around. And I'm just not that girl no more. Like, I really never could be like it, because the way that I feel, the whole spread yourself into different, it's never been my thing for real, but I've tried. And now at this point in my life, I can confidently say that it's definitely not me anymore. And I've been wanting to find someone now who's for me, who's going to value what I bring and who's going to match my energy. And that requires real intentionality. It's easy to swipe. It's easy to play like the numbers game. But I'm not doing that no more. I don't want to do that anymore. Now I'm thinking about who I actually want to be around. I want to be intentional about how I actually show up, how they show up for me, what they like versus what I like. Do we even mesh well together? Can we be friends? Like, I am being intentional about the type of men and the type of energy I want around me. And I want to know that from the jump. You get what I'm saying? I know a lot of things are gradual, and a lot of times you have to learn people. But I do want to be more intentional about the persona that I am experiencing from men early on. Because a lot of times you go for the glitz and glamour. You go for, the smoke. What is it? The smoke and mirrors, the smoking, whatever. You go for the smoke and mirrors, and you don't really dive deep into like the deep value of a person and what they stand for versus what you stand for early on, especially when dating, because you don't want to appear too serious but I think that my ability right now to be picky is going to serve me well. And I don't even want to call it picky. My ability to be more intentional about what I am looking for will serve me well. And I know it will. So I think I'm also not alone in feeling stressed thin sometimes. Between creating this podcast, working on my job, trying to build my brand, there are days that I feel like I'm running on fumes. There are days that I don't want to get out the bed. I want to lie there. I want to lie there and I don't want to do anything. But I'm learning that for me, being intentional just means I don't have to do everything, right? It means that I focus on what brings me the most value. And right now, that's, for example, the audio experience of my podcast. For me, what works well for me is the audio version of the podcast. I do it on YouTube and I love YouTube, but I also feel like I have this pull in me to go deeper with the audio, to really lock in and craft episodes that mean something to people. And what I found is when I'm spreading myself too thin and I'm trying to do too much, I'm not being intentional with my purpose. I'm kind of just trying to do everything to see what sticks. And that doesn't work for me anymore. And I want to put my energy where my intentions align, if that makes sense. So for me, and I'm only saying this also as like a plug, that if you have been watching me, my analytics on YouTube are kind of trash. So I doubt y'all coming from YouTube. But if you have been, you'll notice that I've shifted away from visual so much. In the last episode, I think is when I started, but I am concentrating more so now on audio and just focusing on curating the best possible episode that I can. Speaking to you guys as vulnerably and as open as I possibly can and getting deep. That's where my intention needs to be. Not on trying to see where I can make the most money, where I can put the podcast on 15 different platforms. No, be intentional about my craft. Right? So if that means putting less energy into video right now, I'm okay with that. I want to honor where my focus is best served. And right now my focus is best served doing audio. I feel like even for me now, and I want to speak this to somebody else that may have another craft that, they're passionate about. Even if that means, or it feels like you're leaving money or views or accolades, whatever, on the table, that's your choice. It's my choice, and I'm choosing to trust that it's the right one for me. So just a little plug, y'all, if y'all coming from YouTube, that's happening. But also just taking note of that if you ever do feel like you're spreading yourself too thin. I understand. Now, I also have been reflecting on my relationships as a whole. Now, I did touch on Hinge, and that is a big part of me in my decision to be intentional in terms of dating. But not everybody who's in your life deserves full access to your energy. If I'm learning anything, y'all, that's one of the hardest things that I'm learning. Being intentional means you have to actually choose who gets to be close to you. Who gets to share your wins, your struggles, your real self. Not everybody deserves that. Not everybody needs that. Not even that they don't deserve it, because you could be close to a small group of people, but you don't have to share everything with everybody. I have to be intentional with what I choose to share, because what I've realized is that when I do decide to share certain things, it takes some energy from you. So you got to pay attention to your body. You got to pay attention to your mind, and just like that gut feeling, you feel it. Pay attention to what you share and the energy that you lose, or how it makes you feel after you shared it, because that speaks volumes. I've had to learn myself, it's okay to be quiet. I'm being very intentional about what I choose to share. And this is not you acting funny or you holding back, or you just are protecting your peace. You're protecting your mental. That choice ain't always easy, and I understand that, because a lot of people not gonna get it. They might think that you are being distant, you're being too busy, but really you're protecting your peace. I gotta protect my peace. I'm being intentional about my peace being protected. Okay. I am learning about being intentional about the type of friendships and connections that I want around me. I have a very small group of friends. I am very friendly. I love people. I love communicating and, being in community with people and meeting new people and striking up $1,000 conversations. But what I have noticed about myself is that from last year or a couple of years ago, I have definitely moved away from being friends with any and everybody. because energies don't always align. I don't care how cool y'all hang out. I don't care how y'all turn up when y'all together at a club. Not everybody is meant to be close to you, right? Even with family, it's like, how do I hold my ground and not get sucked into chaos while still loving them from a place of grace? It is okay for me to put a little bit of distance or a little bit of space in between family that makes me feel chaotic, where I feel like my peace is being challenged, right? And for me, therapy has been a big part of that. And y'all know how I feel about therapy. If you don't know, Jasmine is the biggest advocate for it because it's helped me tremendously. But it's helped me show up in ways that I feel authentic and I feel loving, and I'm able to give in ways that I was anxious of giving before, because I have learned to be more intentional with my relationships, right? So intentionality is definitely, it's helping me. Like, I don't want to get too emotional. Y'all know I'm good for getting emotional. I really don't get super emotional, but I'm a very reflective person. And intentionality and the thought of it has really made me look inward in myself and how I'm moving. And it might be because I'm getting close to 30, y'all. I'm really like, 2 months away from 30, which I love for me. I love that for me. But even, for example, recently I started this tutoring mentorship program. Like, I'm going to be tutoring. And I knew from the start, y'all, first of all, I'm so excited about this. Like, I wanted this to be something meaningful because I had a tutor when I was growing up. And I remembered him from 5th grade. I met him in 5th grade. Ralph, shout out to Ralph if you ever listen, which you probably never will. But Ralph was so influential to me. And I was in 5th grade. What is a 5th grader? Like, I don't know, 10, 11? How old is a 5th grader? Like 11, 10, whatever the case. The fact that I still remember that, I wanted to be able to recreate that with a student and it to be that meaningful and impactful. And I don't care that it's just an hour on the calendar every week. I want that to be the most meaningful time for that kid as well as myself, because I know how much that impacted me growing up. And it just reminded me that our actions, when we're being intentional about our space, our time, and everything, it can really change lives. Like, no bullshit, no funny, like trying to be over dramatic. It can really impact a life. So I'm going into this mentorship, right? Not just to check a box, not just to say, I do that. That's a cool little, but I want to make a difference. And hopefully I make a positive impact on a kid's life. Hopefully, because I'm more intentional with my podcast, I'm making a positive impact on one of you guys' life. You just never know. But with intentionality, you're closer to that goal of yours than you would have ever been if you just go through life all willy-nilly. So I also feel like, and this is the biggest one for me, right? Another area that I'm working on being more intentional with is my relationship with God. Full stop. I've always felt close to God. I don't know. I feel like I've always had this deep connection with God. I've always been very in tune with talking to him and feeling his presence for the most part. But lately, I want that connection to be even stronger, even more personal. I don't want to just, and I go through these waves, y'all, often, but I don't want to just say I believe. I want to live it. I want to embody it. Have y'all ever felt this strong pull to like do something or be? That is me with this connection to God. And it's not, I don't want to be like overly churchy or overly spiritual. I want that, my personal relationship to God, with God. I want to live that. I want to embody that. I want I want when somebody looks at me to see God in me. And that requires real discipline. It requires real commitment because it's easy to let life get in the way. It's easy, and I know that for a fact because I've been there, and I still have my moments. Y'all, like, this is no joke. I still have my moments. But it's easy to just skip out on prayer time. It's easy for me to miss a devotional. Bible app still give me reminders. It's easy for me to look at it like another alert and keep it moving. It's easy. It's easy for me to wake up Sunday late and miss church. Even if it's virtual, it's easy. And I want to be more intentional with how I move when it comes to God. But I do know that that's where my peace and my clarity come from. Right? My relationship with him is why I'm able to be more intentional. If I say so myself, this is personal, but my relationship with God is why I'm able to have the discernment that I have, the clarity that I have. I would not even get to this point where I want to be more intentional with how I move if it wasn't for my relationship with him. So I just feel like I don't want to lose that. I don't. So this is where I'm at, y'all. Like, intentionality is not a quick fix, but it is a mindset. It's a mindset that I'm working on bringing into every part of my life. I'm trying. And it's not about being perfect, because I don't want intentionality or my desire to be intentional to be deemed as, oh, you're trying to be perfect. Oh, every action that you make has to be like so for the betterment of. That's not what I'm saying. But I do want to choose to be present. I want to choose to be aware. I want to choose to be clear on what my purpose is in life, because I only got one of them, right? And that doesn't mean that I have to have it figured out all. Like, I don't have to have it all figured out. I know that. But I'm trying, and I'm committed to showing up as the best version of myself. Because if you're not the best version of myself, or if you're not the best version of yourself, who are you? Why would you not want to be the best version? Why would you not want to rewrite yours? If you had the option, and I said this on my intro, when I dropped the trailer for this season, why would you, if you had the option to rewrite your story again and again and again, why would you not want to do that? Huh? Like, let's be for real. Let's be for real, girls. Anyways. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. If you're feeling the same pull to be more intentional in your life, I see you. Let's hold each other accountable or something, because every step we take, I feel like, towards being intentional, that purpose towards our dreams, our goals, we are rewriting our story. You're rewriting that version of yourself. You're being better than you ever were. And this version of yourself, she's unstoppable. Don't play with her. All right, stop. Anyways, if you haven't already, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to the newsletter, guys. This is where I do all my little diary entries, all the stuff that I don't talk about, a recap of the episode, journal prompts, all of that in the newsletter. The link is in the description of each episode. Don't forget to click it, subscribe, and check it out. Respond to me, reply. I love you guys so much. As y'all know, I'm still on my winter's arc hiatus. So if you have been messaging me or commenting on any of my videos or my content on social media, I am not on it, y'all. Not until December 31st. Well, no, not until January 1st. But anyways, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're listening to this on YouTube. And don't forget to rate the podcast if you are listening to me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you listen. Until next time, bye.